This is the Leitmotif and Movement Podcast, father and son's journey into the vast worlds of music. I am your host, Mike Ficklin, and joining me on this epic musical journey is my son,
Michael Ficklin.
This show is dedicated to the discussion of music and introducing Michael to music from the past and present. We will mainly be discussing the genres of rock, hard rock, and heavy metal. We will also from time to time dive into film and video game scores, and we'll sprinkle in some surprises along the way. Michael, what have you been listening to this week?
I dove into the Seven Dust category a bit more.
What all did you listen to?
I really just listened to their 2020 release, Blood and Stone.
What did you think of that?
I liked it. It's way different than Seasons and Animosity.
For sure, yeah. It's, in my opinion, it's leaning in a more kind of radio-friendly, poppy direction.
Yeah. I would say radio-friendly, but not poppy.
Yeah, you're probably right. Probably more radio-friendly would probably be the more accurate way to describe that.
But
it definitely doesn't have that heavy, harsh feel.
I would say, what is that album called? I would say it would be like a poppy radio-friendly thing for their Truth Killer, their 2023 release.
Have you listened to Truth Killer?
I have listened to like one song and I did not like it.
No.
Yeah.
Any particular reason why?
It just doesn't feel like Seven Dust.
Yeah.
To me.
They kind of changed their musical direction with the last couple of albums. I'm kind of in your boat. I'm not really a big fan of them. It just feels like they've lost a little bit of their edge. It's a little too radio friendly for me.
What happened to Face to Face?
Definitely a long way from that, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, you can't stay angry all your life.
Yeah, true.
Holding a grudge for that long is not good for your health. Been listening to anything else?
Of course, the assignments and my big playlist.
Okay. For me, I've been listening to some more Anthrax. I've actually started getting into the John Bush era of the band, and there's this big difference in the sound of the band. A lot less thrashy and more melodic. I've heard some say that they enjoy the John Bush era more than Joey Belladonna, but so far I have to disagree. I kind of feel like the music is not nearly as up-tempo or engaging. I also have yet to feel like John is as dynamic a singer as Belladonna. Maybe I'll change my mind the deeper I go into it, but right now I gotta disagree with the John Bush lovers here.
Did they go through singer change or something at a certain point?
Yeah, so they switched from Joey Belladonna and switched to John Bush. John comes from a band called Armored Saint. I've never really listened to them before, but I'm familiar with them, or who they are at least. And I don't know, I just don't feel like he's as dynamic as Joey Belladonna. So, I don't know, we'll see. I'm only a couple of albums into his era, so maybe they'll grow on me.
Is there multiple eras?
I think they've had like 3 or 4 singers. So John Bush is the second one.
So they kind of went through trying to find the right singer, or did they just...
I think they felt like they were at a creative impasse with their singer Joey Belladonna. Or I guess they didn't feel like they could grow anymore with him, if that makes sense. They wanted to change in direction.
I thought of another thing I listened to this week.
Oh, go ahead.
I listened to the Love record.
Listen to that again?
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you really like that. Uh, that's awesome. Finding any new songs on it that you like?
It's still the same. I'm just trying to figure out uh the words without having to look at the lyrics.
Something else that I listened to, I revisited Killswitch Engage's The End of Heartache. I decided to revisit this album on Valentine's Day and was reminded of why I love it so much. This was the first Killswitch Engage album with Howard Jones on the vocals. The band shows a great deal of versatility. The title track shows the band at its most melodic, which opened the door for Howard Jones to show off his, really powerful and soulful, clean vocals. The entire album is an incredible ride, and in my opinion, it represents the peak of the 2000s metalcore movement. Also revisited Boy Sets Fires After the Eulogy. The messaging behind this album has lost none of its potency at all. In fact, I find that the message is more poignant than ever in the current climate. The blistering, angry opening track After the Eulogy resonates so much. Still Waiting for the Punchline hits so differently right now. This record feels more important than it ever did. Also, checked out the second EP from Duo Laterra, titled Chaos Redefined. This time, Freddie, who's from Against I and Terrorbit, is working with Embers Ignite. I really liked the first Duo Laterra EP quite a bit. This one is something really special. It goes hard, and Rick from Embers Ignite goes off on this collection of songs. The guitar work is stellar. The opener, Chaos Redefined, is a declaration of the all-out aural assault the EP brings. Freddie's guttural growls work perfectly in conjunction with the blistering guitar work. Don't sleep on this one. This is outstanding. I also checked out Lacuna Coil's new record, Sleepless Empire. It absolutely rips. This might go down as my favorite Lacuna Coil record ever. The album opener, The Siege, comes out on fire and sets you up for, in my opinion, one of the angriest and heaviest Lacuna Coil albums there's ever been. Just bar none. I really like the track Hosting the Shadow, which finds the band collaborating with Lamb of God vocalist Randy Bly. Just an excellent album, excellent listen. Also listened to the new Hands Like Houses record, Atmospherics. This is the first full album from Hands Like Houses with new vocalist Josh Raven. It's an ambitious and huge record, featuring 16 tracks that are split into 4 sections. The sections are Tropo, Strato, Meso, and Thermo. Each of these are a different atmospheric level. There's a lot of depth to the sound of the band in this. Crunchy guitars, ethereal synth work, a fantastic drum sound, and Raven's vocals all come together to create an expansive wall of sound. It's a fantastic album with plenty of variety. Also checked out the new single from Earthside titled Frozen Heart, Burning World. It's an absolutely gorgeous track, and it's a real shame that it was left off of the Let the Truth Speak album. It feels right at home with the rest of that outstanding record. The song features Earthside's heavy and emotional soundscapes. It feels huge and expansive. I love this band, and I love this song. This week, I also checked out new releases from several bands. The first one I checked out was Killswitch Engage's new record, This Consequence, and let me tell you, this is the album we needed. It is definitely what you've come to expect from Killswitch Engage from a musical standpoint, but that's not a backhanded compliment at all. The guys are absolutely on their game. Where this album really stands out is in the lyrics and vocal delivery from Jesse Leach. Something I've always admired Leach for is his positivity. The songs on this album all have a sense of sorrow to them, but he's not giving up. He's imploring us to not give up. It's a powerful message, and, in my opinion, a needed one. Also listen to the new single from Black Map, titled Hex, Come Get It. I was so excited to see the announcement of a new Black Map record. This is the second single to be released from the new album. It's a solid hard rocker full of thundering drums and an anthemic chorus. I can't wait to hear the whole album in full. I also listened to a new record from Cami Beverly titled House of Grief. If that name sounds familiar, she is the singer from Oceans of Slumber. And let me tell you something. What a beautiful and sorrowful record this is. Cammie's vocals are at once gorgeous and haunting. This is a deeply emotional journey that I enjoyed every second of. Musically, it's a departure from Oceans of Slumber. It fits more in a sort of dark pop, dark wave genre, but don't let that turn you away from it. If you enjoy Beverly's vocals in Oceans of Slumber, you're going to love this. The last couple of things I checked out was from a band called 4 Seconds Ago. I checked out both of their records, The Vacancy and 1000 Needles. I had never heard of 4 Seconds Ago until recently. For those that don't know, 4 Seconds Ago is the electronic music side project of two members of Periphery, Misha Mansour and Jake Bowen. I tend to enjoy the interludes that play in between the songs on Periphery's records, so I thought I'd give this a shot. I listened to both that first record, which came out in 2018, The Vacancy, and the brand new record that just came out this week, 1000 Needles. This stuff has such a chill vibe to it. Misha and Jake do a great job of creating these ethereal soundscapes. If you enjoy music just like to vibe or, to listen to while you're relaxing or engaged in something creative, this is something you're definitely going to enjoy. Michael, do you have anything else before we move on to our next topic?
I've been meaning to check out the Kill Switch Engage record, and I will try and report back on it.
Awesome. You'll have to let me know what you think. I really think you should check out that stuff from 4 Seconds Ago, too.
Okay.
Check back in with us and let us know what you thought.
All right.
All right, so we'll move on into our next segment. This is the Art of Discovery, wherein we play some music from some indie bands out there, or maybe some bands that aren't getting the exposure and love that we feel like they should get. We've got a great collection of songs for you this time around. First song we're going to play is from the Lucidia Project. They are an alt symphonic metal band out of North Dakota and Minnesota. This is their song, Soul Killer. And once again, that was the Lucidia Project with their song Soul Killer. You can purchase their music on most digital music stores. Michael, what did you think of this one?
Was eventful.
Like that?
Yeah.
I think this is the only song that they have out right now, or at least maybe the only song that I've seen, but I really enjoyed this when I listened to it. Outstanding stuff. Outstanding musicianship. Really like the singer, too.
Yep.
Anything else to say on this one, Michael?
Other than thank you for letting us listen to it.
All right. So we'll move on to our next song. This song is from a band called Bragging Rights. They're a sludge-influenced progressive death metal project out of the UK, and this is their song, Feet of Clay. And again, that was Feet of Clay by Bragging Rights. This is from their 2024 album, Small Gods. You can purchase this album in physical or digital on their Bandcamp page. Michael, what'd you think of that one?
Song is heavy. Heavy metal.
Goes hard as hell, right?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I did.
You got anything else to say on this one?
Nope. Other than heavy metal.
All right, so that'll bring us to our final song on the Art of Discovery. This is Chaos Redefined by Duo Laterra. Duo Laterra is a melodic death metal band out of Gothenburg, Sweden, and this is the title track from their new EP, Chaos Redefined. And once again, that was Duo Laterra with their song Chaos Redefined. It comes from their brand new EP, Chaos Redefined. You can purchase the digital EP on the Twisted Flesh Recordings Bandcamp page. Michael, what'd you think about that one?
Heavy song.
Yes.
I feel heavy. A trend. It's
2 straight
heavy
songs
metal.
Of nothing but straight heavy metal. Did you like that one?
Yeah.
Awesome. You should check out the entire EP. It's fantastic.
All right.
Michael, do you have anything else on this segment before we move on?
Nope.
All right. Well, we would like to thank all of the bands for letting us play a song from each of them on this segment. And if you would like to be featured on another one of our episodes in the Art of Discovery, feel free to reach out to us either through our social media accounts or shoot us an email at lightmovepod@gmail.com. All right, now we're going to move into our main topic. This time we are breaking down Rush's 1976 release, 2112. 2112 is the 4th studio album by Canadian rock band Rush, released in March of 1976 by Mercury Records. It reached number 5 in Canada and became the band's commercial breakthrough in America, peaking at number 61. The band had been in financial hardship due to the disappointing sales of their previous record, Caress of Steel, and it had also gotten a very unfavorable critical reception, and they saw a decline of attendance at their shows. Mercury, their international label, considered dropping them, but granted them one more chance after negotiations with the band's manager, Ray Daniels. Rush was pressured to deliver more commercial material, but they decided to continue developing their progressive rock direction instead. Interesting to note that when the album was released, the entire A-side of the vinyl album was the 20-minute futuristic sci-fi title track, 2112, and then on the other side of the record was the collection of shorter songs that comprised the rest of the record. 2112 was released to favorable reviews from music critics, and it quickly outsold the band's previous albums. Rush ended up touring the album extensively in 1976 and 1977, which culminated in their debut concerts in Europe. 2112 remains the band's second highest selling album behind Moving Pictures, with more than 3 million copies sold in the US alone. It's been listed in the 1001 Albums You Must Hear Before You Die, and ranked second on Rolling Stone's Readers' Poll, your favorite prog rock albums of all time. Some pretty high praise for this, Michael.
Yep. A lot.
So, Rush, Michael, is a 3-piece band. The singer and bass guitarist is named Geddy Lee. The drummer is Neil Peart, and guitarist is Alex Lifeson. Are we ready to dive into our track-by-track analysis?
Yes.
All right. So, as previously mentioned, 2112 opens up with the massive title track. It's over 20 minutes in length and features 7 total movements within that track. So we are going to tackle this one because the song is so long, we're going to tackle it by movement. So movement 1, titled Overture. Michael, what do you have on this?
I like how eventful the song is with the instrumental. And then something that I will say throughout all the song is I like how smooth the transitions are between song to song.
Yeah, they're very fluid.
Yeah. I just like how eventful this song is.
What did you think about hearing Geddy Lee's vocals for the first time?
I'm pretty sure that's in the second part, the next part.
Well, it's definitely in the second movement. I was just curious what you thought about Geddy Lee's vocals.
Different.
Good different? Bad different?
Just different.
Yeah, I guess before we dive any further into this, I did want to give a little background on the song itself. 2112 tells a story set in the city of Megadon in the year 2112, and the lyrics, the entire concept for this song were all written by drummer Neil Peart. So 2112, like I said, tells a story in the city of Megadon in the year 2112 after an intergalactic war in 2062 forces many of the planets to be ruled by the Solar Federation, symbolized by the red star on the cover artwork, where music is unknown and individualism and creativity are outlawed. The population is controlled by a cabal of priests living in the temples of Syrinx, who take orders from giant banks of computers that control all aspects of life. An unnamed protagonist finds a guitar inside a cave and rediscovers the lost art of music. Upon playing the guitar to the priests, they destroy it and declare music a waste of time and against the computer's plan. In a dream, an oracle shows him a planet established simultaneously with the Solar Federation, where an elder race flourish in creativity and individuality. He awakens depressed that music is part of such a society that he can never be a part of, and kills himself. Another planetary war begins, and the Elder Race successfully takes down the Solar Federation, but the song ends with an ambiguous spoken ending. Attention all planets of the Solar Federation, we have assumed control. Peart described the ending as a double surprise, a sort of real Hitchcock killer. Does that change any of the way you feel about the song, Michael?
Is that in depth?
Yeah, it goes real in depth, right? It's like a little mini novella in one song.
I didn't think I was getting a whole entire album. I didn't think I was getting a whole entire debrief about this album. Holy.
So yeah, the first movement, titled Overture, kind of opens with a sort of weird sci-fi vibe created with synths before getting into the song proper. It's a musical overture. There's no vocals. It's getting you prepared for what is to come. The band is just jamming here. Peart, Lee, and Leifson are just going off. It's such a fun rocker. And at the end of the movement, we get the sounds of explosions as we get into the story of 2112. We go into movement 2 with the Temples of Syrinx. Michael, did you have something to say on this movement?
I had written down that I really liked the vocals on this song.
So with the second movement, we're getting our first taste of Geddy Lee's vocals. This movement is just a killer rock song. It's got a great groove. You know, I enjoy Neil Peart's drum fills. Alex Lifeson's guitar riff is just hooky as hell. I love when the band gets into those, syncopated rhythms. Good stuff.
Something to add about the first movement. At the end, it's just crazy and amazing.
Yeah, it's a very cool ending. Into movement 3, this is Discovery. We open up with the sounds of a bubbling brook, complete with crickets and frogs.
Yeah.
There's the beautiful, clean sounds of Alex Lifeson's guitar.
Yeah,
I
had written down. I like the smooth transition and the smooth instrument riff.
Yeah. That clean guitar tone that Alex is getting is awesome. I love the progression of the guitar parts as the song goes along. It opens up initially with this really simple melody, but becomes more complex as it goes. Geddy Lee's vocal delivery is a little more subdued than in the previous movement, but it's still great. Absolutely fantastic.
It's a really chill song.
Yeah, it's a really chill movement anyway. Yeah. Then we move into movement 4, which is titled Presentation. This is where, at the very beginning, the song just picks up full steam with Lee's bass and Peart's drums, and we get more energy.
Yeah, that energy on this song is just immediate notice.
For sure, especially coming off the quieter previous movement. Yeah, Lee is back with those high-pitched vocals, and when we hear those high-pitched vocals along with the heavy, distorted guitar, it's actually Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson giving voice to the priests. The lower-pitched vocals with clean guitar represent the protagonist of the story. So the way the band kind of effortlessly transitions back and forth between these sounds is so impressive. Lee kills it on the vocals.
That's what I call skill.
100%.
Emerging.
100%. Alex Lifeson's guitar work at the end of this movement is really outstanding. He's absolutely on
Mm-hmm.
fire with this while Lee and Peart are holding it down on the rhythm section.
Mm-hmm.
You got anything else on presentation, Michael?
Just I just like this song and this movement in general because of how creative it is.
Yeah, the entirety of 2112, the song 2112 is extremely impressive.
Yes.
The amount of work and artistry that goes into creating a song like this, it's it just it makes me happy. It makes my musical heart happy. So we move on from movement 4 to movement 5, titled Oracle the Dream. This is a short movement that's more quiet and subdued. The guitar work is gorgeous. It does pick up towards the end of the song as the protagonist has a possible
Yeah.
prophetic vision of what is to come. I love these seamless transitions or changes mid-song that we've heard several times, and again in this song. It's really, really impressive.
I just find this song just I like how it chills through most of the song and then it gets to the like really hyper section of
Yeah, it
the
kind of builds a
movement.
bit to like a
Yeah.
crescendo almost.
Yeah. Could see that.
Anything else on this movement before we move on?
Yeah. Yeah, I could see the crescendo on this song with that moving towards the hyper part of this song.
Yeah, the heavier part of it, if
Yeah.
you will.
I like it being called hyper.
So we'll move into movement 6. This is titled Soliloquy. And we're back to the sounds of that bubbling brook. Alex Lifeson's guitar work here kind of has a almost melancholy, bluesy feel to it. Geddy Lee's vocals, again, are outstanding here. What do you got on this one, Michael?
For some reason, I didn't write anything down for this song. I think I just unaccidentally skipped over it.
You can't really skip over it. It's all part of the same song.
I may have unaccidentally skipped over that in writing notes for it.
Okay. So we'll move into movement 7. This is Grand Finale. This one is an
Holy.
up-tempo number for this final movement to close out the song. And Neil Peart absolutely plays his ass off on the drums. The band in general is just on a killer jam.
I don't want to know how fast they have to be moving for that.
Geddy Lee's bass work on this entire song has been outstanding, but it really stands out here with Peart's drum work. Just an outstanding finish.
Yeah, this song's amazing.
Closes up the entire story with a big bang.
I mean, it is a big bang. At the end of the song, there is a big bang.
There absolutely is. It's like fireworks. Actually, I think it's meant to be the sounds of war.
It sounds like the 90s explosion sound.
Michael, what do you got just overall on the song 2112?
Eventful. Knowing the debrief about the song, I don't really know.
You don't really know because
it's something that I would have to re-listen to like get after knowing what the song's actually about.
Now let me ask you this. Did you actually like listening to it?
Yes. I didn't I remember you telling me there was movements in the song. But for some reason I could not figure out the movements at first until I finally looked at Wikipedia.
I mean, there's always a
Yeah.
drastic change in sound with each of
That-
the movements.
But also, it's something that I have gotten used to after listening to so many bands. I have that problem with a lot of the albums we listen to is I don't realize the song changes. I have to look at what software or app I'm using
That's
to
because you're only
realize.
half paying attention, sir.
No, I'm full paying attention. It's just the transitions are normally so good. Like if it's like something like Inside going from what's the second last song on 5150? I can't
The
think
second
now.
to last song is the actual title track.
Oh, yeah. That's noticeable. Like real noticeable. But there with this song it's a thing where I had to look it up type thing to figure out when the transition is and everything.
I think I can summarize this song in one word: epic. It's just epic. I have so
Mhm.
much admiration and respect for Neil Peart as a songwriter. Uh, he was an amazing drummer. He
Mhm.
obviously had an amazing imagination, outstanding work putting this song together. The band just is on fire for this one. It
Mhm.
makes my prog heart happy.
And for this album coming out in 1976, it sounds amazing.
Yeah. The mix on it, everything about the way it was recorded still holds up really well, right?
Yeah. And that's what I've realized after listening to so many of these old albums is most of them age well.
Yeah, I mentioned this to you on another episode, but
Previous.
the the reason why some of this stuff holds up as well as it does is because it was truly original for its time
Mhm.
period. It was a lot of these guys are the originators of these sounds. So it anything that comes afterwards or that is influenced by these guys becomes derivative of these guys, right? So
Uh-huh.
that's
So
why
it
the originators
diverts.
tend to stand out more.
Mhm.
Okay, so moving along from 2112, we'll move into track number 2 finally. This was actually the first track on side B of the vinyl. This is A Passage to Bangkok. Michael, what do you got on this one?
I like the beginning of the song with that guitar riff, that four string or like I don't know what to call it, but it's just amazing. And then it immediately brings in that vocal in the vocals. I like that. It just has a very simple riff and hooky song.
Yep, I've always really loved the guitar riff to the song. It's, like you said, it's really simple and hooky. I really enjoy Geddy Lee's vocals on this one,
Mhm.
especially when he puts the inflections in his tone. Uh,
Uh-huh.
compared to the epic song 2112, this feels like just a basic rock and roll song, but the
Yeah.
band still manages to kill it. I mean, Lifeson has a very good guitar
Mhm.
solos towards the end of the song. It's just an outstanding hard rocker.
I'd like to bring up that there the difference between plays on Spotify between 20 whatever the title song,
2112.
yeah, and the second song on the album, it is 6 million difference. And then right after the second song, it
Interesting.
drops to 6
So
mil.
so is 2112 the most listened to track on it?
Yes, it
Okay.
is 232,728 listen plays, and then on A Passage to
Bangkok.
yeah, um, it is 20,000,000 755,422. Then it on the Twilight Zone, it goes to 6 million
Oh
nine
yeah, that's a
hundred.
big old steep drop off.
976, 300, 367. Then
That's
it
crazy.
goes to 5
Well,
mil,
yeah.
and then the lowest it gets is with tears or tears, close, something like that. And it goes to 4 mil.
Yeah. Big drop off as the album
Yeah.
goes. That's interesting.
And then it jumps back up on the last track.
So, Geddy Lee has been quoted as saying A Passage to Bangkok is a song about marijuana. He says it's a travelogue for all the places in the world that grow the best weed.
What?
Michael, you got anything else
Honestly,
to say on A Passage to Bangkok before we move on?
sure. Sure. I guess it's the best passage to weed.
Okay, so we'll move on to track number 3. This is The Twilight Zone. Michael, what do you got on this one?
I like the beginning of this song with that guitar riff and drums. That's just amazing. Amazing. Talent. Real talent.
Yeah,
And I like the vocals throughout this song.
yeah, Geddy Lee pushes his vocals into that high-pitched
Mhm.
falsetto range again, and I'm
Yeah.
here for it.
He
I don't
kind of
find this song to be as hooky as the previous one, but it's still a solid song.
he
Oh, go ahead.
he kind of pushes his voice into a descant.
Explain.
So descant is higher than soprano.
Okay.
It is one higher than soprano. It is a whole entire different octave.
Okay.
But yeah, he kind of pushes his voice into a descant.
Pretty impressive that he's able to do that.
Mm-hmm. But normally his voice throughout these songs, it sounds like, is in the high soprano range.
Yeah, he's got a very unique voice.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
Mm-hmm.
Lee and Peart shine on this track, holding
Yeah.
down that rhythm section. And
Mm-hmm.
Alex Lifeson has a really good bluesy solo to close the song out.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool song.
Yeah.
Apparently, according to Neil Peart, Rush started writing this song at a time when they needed one more song to fill the second side of the record. And Peart said it was written and recorded all in one day. He says that the band were huge fans of the Twilight Zone TV series and based the song on the stories written for it from its host, Rod Serling. So that's interesting to note. You ever heard of the Twilight Zone TV show, Michael?
Nope.
It was an anthology series that was kind of light horror suspense. It was very popular. Michael, you got anything else on this one?
Nope.
All right. So we'll move to track number 4. This is Lessons. Michael, what do you got on this one?
I like this song. I like the beginning with that acoustic guitar sounding, and then it just starts picking up, and then it kind of crescendos up, it sounds like, and then it jumps into the vocals, and then I think it's halfway through the song, it gets into that like quiet but with like loud vocals with the instruments. I like this song.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like the clean guitar work during the verses on the song. This one is a really good hard rocker that is much more my speed. Again,
More your speed.
exactly. Yeah. Again, Lee's bass work and vocal work really stand out. Alex Lifeson contributes a fun guitar solo to close the song out. It's just fantastic. I like these more up-tempo songs. I really like when the band goes up-tempo. And Lessons, interestingly, is one of the few Rush songs that was written solely by Alex Lifeson.
Hmm.
Michael, you got anything else on lessons?
Other than the song's just really good.
Yes, it is. Fantastic. All right, so we'll move on to track number 5. This is Tears. Michael, what do you got on this one?
I really like this song. It's really laid back. I like the acoustic guitar and the vocals. But I don't think Spotify really people that listen to it on Spotify don't really agree with me.
Eh, to each their own. Everybody has their own likes and dislikes, right?
Yeah, the I just find it crazy the difference between how many plays there is on Spotify between
People like
every
what they
song.
like, apparently.
I I guess
Either
I
that or they
guess
get
they
wore out with the 20-minute opening track and like,
yeah.
yep, I'm done. Moving
Yeah,
on.
the first uh the first like 5 mil decided they didn't want to listen to the next track.
Right. And honestly, to me, that's a shame because it says to me that people's attention spans are way too short.
Oh, they they are way too bad.
It's a shame. They're missing out on a fantastic total package with this record. So people want their 3-minute pop song, but and that's all well and good. But there's something to be said for an entire album experience of taking the time to get away from everything else, picking your most comfortable chair, grabbing your best headphones, and just letting the music take you places. I am
Or best
fully.
stereo.
What's that?
Or best stereo.
Yeah, absolutely. Your best speakers. Yeah. I am fully in the camp of be a full album listener. There's a reason why bands do a full album, and the reason why they sequence songs the way they do on the album and stuff. It paints a picture. It's art, and I'm here for it.
I will say I do bounce around a lot on albums. But most of the reason why I bounce around on albums is I don't really like the song.
I mean, I guess I will still listen to an album even if there is a song or two that I don't particularly like, but I'll still listen to that song just because
Mm-hmm.
it's a part of the overall experience.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
sometimes it even causes me to start enjoying maybe the song
mm-hmm.
that I didn't like at first.
Yeah, that's what I kind of did with P3, the first two tracks on P3.
So pulling this back to the song Tears,
Mm-hmm.
you got anything else on that?
Nah.
Okay. So for me, as the title implies, there's a sense of melancholy to the music of this one. I love the mellotron usage on this song. It adds to that sense of sorrow. Lee delivers this beautiful vocal performance. Lifeson's clean guitar work blends really well with the mellotron. It's just a beautifully written and performed ballad.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else to say on this one, Michael?
Nope.
Okay. So we will move into the final track on the record. This is Something for Nothing. Michael, what do you got on this one?
I like this final track on this album. I like how it opens up with the chill uh guitar work, and then it gets into his vocals. It's just very laid back and chill.
Out of curiosity, in the
Mm.
entire listening of this record, have you picked up on the bass guitar work or really paid attention to Neil Peart's drumming?
I try my best to pay attention to extra instruments like bass, guitar, drums, and like other like main things that you normally hear in bands. I can pick up on easily and hear it. The like bass guitar, I don't really hear that often.
sometimes it depends on what you're listening to.
Mm-hmm.
With a lot of newer bands, because they play their guitars in these really funky guitar tunings, it always kind of drowns out the sound of the bass work. Um, but with some of these older groups, or even some of the groups that don't use these funky guitar tunings, you can definitely pick out the bass work. And this is one of those albums where you can definitely hear Geddy Lee's bass work if you listen for it. He's
But
phenomenal.
like I said, I have to know it's there to be able to listen to it that closely. And
Fair enough.
with normal guitar and drums, I know it's gonna be there for most of the bands.
Do you have anything else to say on Something for Nothing?
It's just really chill, nice chill ender.
For me, this one opens with that quiet, clean guitar riff from Lifeson that I really enjoy. And as the song goes along, it builds into more of a solid, hard rocker. Lee again is killing it with his vocal performance. Lifeson's guitar solo at the halfway point is so good. It's so good. Uh, During that solo part, Peart and Lee are doing an incredible job holding down the rhythm section. I really enjoy Peart's drum fills during this song. Just an excellent song, an excellent way to close out the record. I love this song. Michael, anything else before we give our final thoughts on this one?
Nah.
Okay. So, Michael, give us your final thoughts on 2112 and give us your rating out of 5.
I think this deserves a 5 out of 5, and my reasons why, because it's just very creative, just really creative.
Would you listen to this album again?
Yes,
Would you listen to anything from Rush again?
maybe.
Maybe.
Hey, it's something.
You know, I'm surprised with your rating, and I'll tell you why. I got the impression as we've been talking about
Mm-hmm.
this that I don't feel like you were really interested in it, that you weren't really into it.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of got the same impression that I got when we covered the Led Zeppelin record way back now. I think it was like episode 3 when we covered Led Zeppelin.
Way too long.
That I
Here, I can fact check you.
I don't need that. I'm just saying,
I'm curious.
given a general
Myself.
observation, I didn't feel like you were really into it all that much. Are you giving this a 5 out of 5 because that's what you think
No,
what I want from you, or is
No.
that genuinely how you feel about it?
I generally feel about that.
Okay, paint me intrigued with your answer. For me, I love this album so much. It was the first Rush album I ever listened to in full. The epic title track is so engaging and varied. The way the band so flawlessly transitions between movements is a thing of beauty. The rest of the album is filled with these more standard, straightforward songs, but that doesn't make them any less terrific, though. Alex Lifeson, in particular, has a gift for writing memorable guitar hooks. Neil Peart is, in my opinion, one of the greatest drummers of all time. Not to mention, he was a gifted lyricist with a big imagination. Geddy Lee, likewise, is in the conversation for greatest bass players ever. He and Peart work so well together. Lee's vocals are also absolutely iconic. He has a unique and instantly recognizable delivery. This album, for me, is sheer prog rock perfection. It's getting 5 out of 5 from me.
To fact check you earlier about you saying the Led Zeppelin thing, we did do that on episode 3,
I was right.
and something I just realized. It has been 11 episodes since we covered Metallica. We did that on episode 5.
Yep, it's been a minute. been even longer since we covered Van Halen.
It doesn't even feel like that. It's been that long.
Time flies when you're having fun. Michael, do you have anything else to say on 2112 before we move along?
Creative.
Our question for the audience before we close up this, what is your favorite track on 2112 and why? All right, Michael, we'll move along to our next segment. This is Can't Wait, new music coming soon. Michael, dare I ask, do you have anything for the segment?
All right. Let's just say, hopes. I hope for a new Carnival record, and a new Periphery record.
Yeah, I don't know about new Periphery. I really don't. Carnival, it's probably not happening, my friend.
Yeah, too cooked.
This is starting to become like the perennial joke that's on every episode.
What's that?
You mentioning Carnival on this segment.
Has to be mentioned. we should just make a new section. Hopes for new records.
Well, I could say that for just about every band that I enjoy, so that segment would take up like a whole episode. For me, the only thing that's on my radar at the moment is the new record from Doves titled Constellations for the Lonely. It comes out on February 28th. That doesn't mean that there's not going to be other stuff that pops up that I didn't know was coming out. So I'm sure there'll be more to add to this by the time we record our next episode. Some recently announced stuff though that I did see. It's not coming out here in the next few weeks, but some recently announced stuff that I'm really looking forward to. On March 28th, Under Oath releases their new record, The Place After This One. On April 4th, Elysion releases their new record, The Ossuary Lens. On April 25th, Machine Head drops their new record, Unatoned. On May 9th, Black Map drops its new record, Hex. On May 16th, Pelican is dropping their new record, Flickering Resonance. And then there's been this brewing, teasing video dropping on Facebook from the Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza. They've been broken up for a while, and they are teasing a reunion. I don't know if that means new music or if they're just going to do some live shows or whatnot, but still intrigued regardless. Michael, try saying the Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza 3 times fast. It's a tongue twister.
There's really no point.
Any of those records that I mentioned that you'd like to hear?
All of them.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that you haven't heard anything from any of these guys before, and that's okay. Black Map, just for your knowledge, their guitar player is the guitar player from Dredge. His name's Mark Ingalls. This is another project of his, and they're more of a straightforward kind of hard rock, heavy metal act. Michael, you got anything else for Can't Wait before we move on?
Nope.
All right. So we will move on to our next segment. This is our listener feedback segment. We haven't had any in quite a while, but we've got a couple of pieces here that we're going to comment on here. First piece comes from Ron from Spotify. He's commenting on our recent episode that we did on Seven Dust Seasons. He says, "Yay, chapters are back. Thanks. Loved the bonus episodes, and as always, great job, guys. Would love to hear you guys cover some Atreyu, maybe The Curse or Congregation of the Damned. I also would like to hear Michael's thoughts on any Billy Idol or Elton John music he hasn't heard before in his journey of experiencing new to him music. Keep up the great work, fellas. Thanks, Ron. We appreciate that. And yeah, you're absolutely right. We do need to introduce Michael to some Atreyu. I definitely intend to introduce him to some Billy Idol and some Elton John. I just haven't quite decided how I want to do it yet. I don't know if I'm going to introduce him via individual songs or if I want to do entire records. More to come on that, Ron. Great recommendations.
So I just scrolled very fast through every episode for the past 3 episodes, and the last time we got listener feedback and we read it on the show was episode 12.
Yep, been quite a while.
Yeah.
Our next piece of listener feedback comes actually from our friends me and you. He says, "Thank you two so much. Love hearing your opinions and interpretations. The rating, whew, y'all are great." And this came from YouTube. He's thanking us for our bonus episode review of his latest record. You're absolutely welcome, me and you. Thank you so much for letting us get a chance to review your record. We've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yes. We are very, 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 very thankful.
Our last piece of listener feedback comes from Caustic Waves on Threads. And this is regarding our question for the audience for episode 15, which was, what was your favorite track on Seasons by Seven Dust? He says, "That's a very difficult question. Broken Down would be a contender, as well as the title track. It's hard to look past Enemy, though. What a great album." I absolutely agree about Broken Down. It's a fantastic song. I still lean towards Burned Out as my personal favorite,
Yeah.
but Broken Down is definitely in the conversation.
I bounce between Broken Down and Burned Out a lot as my favorite.
I know you really like Enemy and Seasons too, so sounds like we're all on the same page, Caustic Waves. All right. So with that said, we will close up our listener feedback section and move into our final segment of the episode. This is Michael's journey, discovering a song from the past. This time, we're getting Michael's thoughts on Corey Hart's Never Surrender. A little background on this one. Never Surrender is a song written and performed by Canadian singer Corey Hart. It was released on June 7th, 1985 as the lead single to his second studio album, Boy in the Box. In Canada, the song topped the RPM Top Singles chart for 9 consecutive weeks and was the most played song of... Yeah, 9. And it was the most played song of 1985 on Canadian radio. In the United States, it became his highest charting single on the Billboard Hot 100, peaking at number 3 in August of 1985.
Wow.
It reached number 1 for 1 week. Never Surrender would later receive the Juno Award for Single of the Year at the Juno Awards of 1985 and has been certified platinum in Canada by Music Canada for physical sales of over 100,000 copies.
Ow.
On the composition of the song, regarding actually the lyrical content, Corey Hart has been quoted as saying, "My mother influenced me with this ethic of never quitting on yourself or your dreams, no matter how challenging or daunting. I also greatly admired Sir Winston Churchill, reading many biographies on his life. He used this expression, never surrender, during the dark days of the Nazi attacks on Great Britain as a motivating inspiration for his countrymen." And with that said, Michael, let's get your thoughts on Never Surrender.
I like how it opens up. Here in the background, it seems uplifting, really uplifting.
Absolutely is 100%.
and knowing the history standpoint, it makes me like it even more.
Are you talking about his love for reading about Winston Churchill?
Yeah, yeah.
What did you think of the song itself?
Uh, I say I really like the opening. I like how the vocals merge well with the instruments. It's just perfect. Perfection.
I love the song, and I've loved it since I was a kid. The message behind it is such an empowering and uplifting one. The lyrics, the music, and the vocal melody has been burned into my memory eternally. I love the keyboard synth work that opens up the song before Hart's vocals come in. The simple and restrained guitar work works beautifully. I've always had a thing for a good sax solo in a rock song, and this song absolutely delivers on that front. If you've never heard this song before, or if you're feeling hopeless and lost, this song is definitely for you. I love this song so much. Michael, let's get your rating out of 5 on this song.
I am going to have to rate this song a 5 out of 5.
Michael gives it a perfect score, so Michael actually gave 2 perfect scores today. He's on a roll.
Double wubble.
All right, so up next for you, Michael, on your musical journey, you're going to listen to Chuck Berry's Johnny Be Good.
I recognize that name.
As well you should. And for our main topic on our next episode, we're going to discuss Van Halen's 1978 debut release, Van Halen. Self-titled.
Van Halen.
Yep.
I see a trend with first albums from bands. It's self-titled most of the time.
Some of them definitely are, yes. And actually, it's kind of a trend with Van Halen. They did 3 self-titled records, technically.
Yeah. Van Halen, and then Van Halen 2, and then
Van Halen 3.
Yeah. Wow.
And this is actually going to be your first experience with David Lee Roth, that singer. I'm looking forward to having that conversation with you.
Technically, I have listened to some of the songs.
Okay.
I have listened to Jump.
Jump is not from this record. That's actually from the last record that the band did with David Lee Roth before they split off and had Sammy Hagar join. All right. With that said, we do want to hear from you. We will read your emails and messages on the show. We have only one request. Keep them clean. There are several ways to contact us. You can email us at lightmovepod@gmail.com. You can also reach us on several social media platforms such as Facebook, Blue Sky, Instagram, and Threads. Details on how to connect with us are in the show notes. We are now part of the SPDM Crew Podcast Network. Check out all of the podcasts on the network by visiting spdmcrew.com.
If you liked the show, subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting platform and share with your friends and family. We are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and a variety of other platforms. We are also on YouTube. Can't find us on your chosen platform? Shoot us a message and let us know. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. This helps us to be found in the algorithm. Make them good and we'll read them on the air. Are you in a band and you'd like for us to check you out and possibly drop a recommendation on the show? Shoot us a message. We'd love to check you out and give you a shout.
We'd like to thank you very much for listening to the Leitmotif and Movement Podcast. Take care and enjoy music.